Hello everyone. Today I present to you the divine command theory. For today's agenda, we have introduction, assumptions of the theory law enforcement in making moral decisions, and criticism of the theory. Religious systems have been used for the past centuries to make decisions that are considered ethical or moral. People have various religious beliefs like Christianity, Hinduism, Jainism, Islamic religion, etc. This has been essential in governing their decisions that they can make at any given time. There has been the establishment of theories like divine command theories that have been used in the past decades to guide individuals. However, the use of the theory to make ethical decisions differs from the religious view. The divine command theory relies on the idea that God is the source of ethical principles. He has created rules and principles that the people must obey when making decisions. As a result, people are using the theory in making decisions because believers know that there is a rational God who provides guidance and direction that they are supposed to take. As such, the commandments of God determine if the decisions are moral or wrong. The rules provided by God can be used in assessing moral or ethical decisions. However, there is no clarity on the way that there is an interpretation of scriptures for believers. The assumptions of the theory. The divine command theory provides a living God who forbids certain behavior while also commanding others. When an individual has engaged in the right action, it is commanded by the Supreme Being. As such, individual can ascertain commands of God or the acts he forbids. The theory can be used in explaining the importance of ethical and moral behaviors among beings. The religious beliefs provide that those who engage in good deeds will receive rewards in the next life. On the contrary, those who are engaging in immoral deeds will receive everlasting punishment. What makes this powerful statement is that people fear facing everlasting punishment after earth. It provides the need for followers to make moral decisions while they're still on earth, which is based on God's commandments. As such, they will not face everlasting punishment when they descend to the afterlife. According to Harrison, good can be understood by three ways: reading the Bible or Holy Scriptures, listening to religious authorities' teachings, and through one's conscience. Theory law enforcement in making moral decisions. Immanuel Kant argued that for one to show moral behaviors, they must have faith in God and believe in the afterlife. The theorist believes that populations need to believe in God's existence because morality requirements are much to bear as human beings. In this regard, God will enable us to understand the moral law. Such belief gives us moral hope that we can live an ethical and moral life, enabling us to see an eternal life after death. Immanuel Kant also provides that if God exists and there is an afterlife where people will be getting an eternal life if they were morally pure, then the world's problem will go away. It implies that morality is not a guarantee for living a happy life. Creating believers need to know that God will punish those who are not moral, but rewarding the righteous and morally pure believers. However, he does not use the moral faith concept when providing his argument about this theory. And still, Kant's argument indicate that there are advantages when living a moral life. The theory gives a basis for morality, providing us with the need to live a morally pure life. According to William Craig, This is why God gives demands to govern the action of men. On theism, we are responsible for our action, as those who are engaging in immoral deeds will get an everlasting punishment. In contrast, those who are living a moral life will live happily forever. In this regard, those who engage in good deeds will be triumphant over those who engage in evil deeds. Justice always wins. The acts of morality thus require self-sacrifice and dedication for one to see everlasting life. The theory provides the need for one to self-sacrifice because God has demanded. Saint Augustine also provides his view concerning the theory. He provides that the pursuit of the supreme good will contribute to human happiness. In this regard, there is a need for humans to love objects that are worthy of their love. As a result, they need to love only God, enabling them to love other earthly things. He makes an argument that the act of being in love with the Almighty is essential in enabling them to understand things that need their love. As a result, they will gain fulfillment and happiness. These views are similar to Plato's view. He stated that well-ordered soul would occur as a result of moral behavior. However, Saint Augustine believed that having a well-ordered soul had a higher purpose to obey God's command. John Duns Scotus proposed a different view concerning the idea of the theory. The scholastic view provides that God could not limit humans' right to love one another, stating that certain commandment is considered moral because God has given them. As such, humans do not have to look for God's commandment into natural law matters. Robert Adams provides a different perspective of the theory, which he called modified divine theory. He provides two statements that he considers to be equivalent. It is wrong to do X. It is contrary to God's commandment to do X. These two statements can imply that commandment given by God procure moral truths. As a result, there is a need for explaining them based on moral truths and not vice versa. In this regard, action will be unethical if it is against God's commandments, who is loving. He argues that if God is cruel, his commandment will not be obeyed, and the rules governing morality will break down. In this regard, the commandments governing the act of morality are based on God's omnibenevolence. Besides, he explained that the word wrong is used to refer to actions that are not in line with God's rules. Adams believes that religion's concept is based on the population belief about God, who determines what is right and wrong. The commandments have been working for population because believers accept the commands that they are right. The divine theory can also be used by law enforcement officers who do not hold religious beliefs but understand that followers hold religious beliefs. Religious beliefs have been providing the most systems to gauge morality. As such, the law enforcement agencies should understand situations that may seem odd or immoral to ensure that they do not infringe on others' rights. Criticism of the theory. The religious scriptures are sourced from ancient books and writing that can be used in interpreting issues occurring in the present society. As such, religion cannot provide ethical guidance on various ethical issues that face the current society. The scriptures are not only broad but also ambiguous. Secondly, various religions believe across the globe have different perspectives on morality. Religions also have a different forms of God that the believers bow down to, which has raised the question, does the God a person chose make a difference? Do we believe in the wrong God? Proponents of divine command theory cannot answer the questions because religious people worship different gods. Thirdly, Scientific concepts have been developed since the 19th century that has tried to analyze if God exists. However, there is no evidence to provide on the existence of God. As such, their theory relies on the belief that God exists, making it lose its authority among population who believes in empiricism and science. Similarly, it has been challenging for believers to determine what God commands. Besides, the arguments on who should interpret God's commands are based on schism, which causes different population opinions. Religious believers have different ways of interpreting the commandment of God. As such, there is a likelihood of developing different kinds of integration on creating ethical dilemmas. This can lead to confusion on the true will of the Creator. Nevertheless, contradictions that occur when one is reading the Bible and religious scriptures has confused believers. For instance, the Bible talks of life sanity. However, some scriptures talk of the need to take other humans' lives. In the Quran, similar confusion exists. The Quran talks of the need to take the life of infidels. It states that the infidels are to be caught and slain. On the contrary, it teaches that God loves transgressors. The belief that God is powerful, which has formed the fundamental basis that individuals are forced to make moral decisions, is caused by God's fear. If this is true, then the effort to make ethical decisions occurs because of coercion. This is the end of the presentation. Thank you for watching.